Good evening and welcome to the channel's studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. Californian police have identified the gunman suspected of killing 10 people in a ballroom dance studio near Los Angeles as Hu Can Tran. The 72-year-old was later found dead in a white van with a self-inflicted gunshot wound and was declared dead at the scene. Celebrations for Lunar New Year had been underway in Monterey Park, known for its large Asian population. Police do not yet know the motive. Another 10 people were wounded in the shooting, and 7 are still in hospital, some in a critical condition. US President Joe Biden ordered flags at the White House and other government agencies to be lowered to honor the victims.
The suspect has been identified as Hu Can Tran. He is a 72-year-old male Asian. I can confirm that there are no outstanding suspects from the mass shooting incident that occurred in the city of Monterey Park.
Germany's foreign minister has said she would not stand in the way of Poland if they were to send Leopard 2 tanks to Ukraine.
Anna
Baerbock said Poland had not yet asked for export permission, but that if it were asked, we would not stand in the way. Ukraine has called on the West to provide the German-made tanks, which they say will help them defeat Russia. But Germany is yet to provide the armoured vehicles, and its export laws prevent other countries from sending theirs. Poland's Prime Minister said on Monday the government would request authorization from Berlin, but he said Poland would send the tanks to Ukraine even if it was not granted. Peruvian police have raided a university in the capital Lima and detained over 200 people in a surprise operation following a protesters' march last week demanding the resignation of the president. The gate of the San Marcos University was rammed open by a police tank as the campus was apparently being used as a refuge by protesters. Meanwhile, local authorities have indefinitely closed the Inca citadel of Machu Picchu. The past 2 weeks have seen the deadliest flare-up of violence in the anti-government protests that have lasted more than a month. So far, the death toll of the violent protests has risen to more than 50 people. Pakistan has suffered a huge power cut early on Monday following a breakdown in its national grid, leaving millions of people without electricity. Power was out in all the country's major centres, including the biggest city, Karachi, the capital, Islamabad, as well as Lahore and Peshawar. Pakistan often suffers from power cuts, which are blamed on mismanagement and a lack of investment in infrastructure. The last major blackout in October took hours to restore. Plunging temperatures and sudden snowstorms have led to hazardous conditions around Croatia. In central Dalmatia, the main coastal highway is closed between Pisac and Brela. Snowplows had to be brought in to Dubrovnik. Further north, the main highway between Zagreb and Rijeka have also had to be closed. There were snow warnings across the Adriatic, forcing cancellations of ferry services. Singer Beyonce has returned to the stage for her first live performance in 5 years, but not everyone was excited. The US megastar headlined the private concert in Dubai to mark the opening of a luxury hotel, Atlantis the Royale. Many fans were thrilled to see the return of Queen Bee, but others weren't so happy due to Dubai's strict laws against women and treatment of migrant workers. She reportedly received $24 million for the performance. And Mexicans have come together in Mexico City to celebrate the Lunar New Year and the Year of the Rabbit with a colourful costume contest. At the competition, now in its 6th edition, people showed off their creativity with decorated bicycles, bunny costumes and elaborate dresses. The winner, a little 8-year-old girl named Frida, took first place with her dragon bike and showed a big smile as the audience clapped her achievement. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the channel's studios in Lagos.